And so that will cause you to go from here to here. Okay, bang to bang, bang to bang, bang to bang, and so on. Okay? And what else do you need in this maze? Like how will you tell the user where they are?
With coordinates.
Coordinates? Okay. So maybe another output will be coordinates. And what? Maybe a description of each room. You know, you look around, there's a door here, there's a door there. Yeah? Okay. Good. Okay, this is starting to take some shape. Okay? So you've started to sort of come together with a list of specifications of how this game is actually going to work from the user's perspective. Okay? And I think most of you have made a reasonable list like that. Okay? So that was a reasonable list, and I want you to keep it simple. Okay, I talked to most of you in the last lesson, it was good. So what we're doing today, okay, is taking this idea, right, of a product. You've got this black box product with outputs to the user and inputs from the user. Okay? How does your system actually function inside? Okay? What do you have to do with these inputs to turn them into these outputs? What functions do you actually have to write? What functions do you actually have to do in order to make that happen? Okay? Does that make sense? So at the moment this is a black box, and at the end this is all you're going to see. But underneath you need to write Pascal to actually get this to work. Yeah? Okay? So what we need to do is an outline of modules. And I'm going to read through it. If you guys can turn to this page with a fair bit of text, I'm going to walk you through what we're doing.
I don't have that page.
Just there. I hand out new book today. Yeah, that one. Yeah. Okay. So today's task. So at this stage, the overall system is often too big and complicated to be understood in detail. How's this actually going to work? It's actually quite complex. Okay, you've got a map. You're moving around. Your outputs to the user are coordinates, descriptions. Coordinates and descriptions, really. And your inputs from the user are and questions, in this case. Okay? And your inputs from the user are answers, like prompts, like keys or whatever. Okay? That's pretty much the only thing that the user inputs. And then they're going to be getting coordinates, descriptions, and questions as outputs in text. And that's all they're going to see. Now, how does this actually work? Okay? So, it's often too big and complicated to be understood in detail. Therefore, the system is divided into smaller things called modules, and interfaces between these modules are specified. Okay, so for today's task, I want you to spend 20 minutes doing this. I want you to list every single task you can think of that you need to do in order to take these inputs and turn them into these outputs. Okay, every single task that needs to happen in your system. And I don't want you to talk about how they connect to each other yet. I want you to just I just want you to list everything that you think needs to be done. Okay, every job. And just disconnect it, okay? So I want you to note that it's not important at this stage to worry, you don't need to worry how you will do the task, just that the task needs to be done. So for example, okay, I've got a list here that you might have as an example. You could make a map. So, which means you need to create a description for each part of the map. You track where the player is in the map, so you need some sort of tracking algorithm. You'll read the user input. You need to read the user input and decide what to do with that user input. Whether you just write descriptions, write coordinates, output instructions, or even move the player around the map. Okay? And anything else that you can think of that you might need to do. Just write a list of everything you can do. I want you to brainstorm as a group what needs to happen. Okay? Now the point of this is that once you have these sorts of tasks joined together, or once you have these sorts of tasks in one big list, you can start thinking about what their inputs are and what their outputs are. So, as an example, okay, we've got a box that says make a map. Okay? Now its output is going to be a map. So that task is make a map. The output is a map. Easy? Alright? Then you might have read user input. Okay, so we've got the user as an input, and the output might be something like a movement. Okay, so the output from the user input might be move left, move right, move north, move south. Okay. Then we have a module that is move player. Now in order to move the player, you need the map, you'll need movement, which direction, and that's about it, right? And then you'll have the player who gets moved. Now notice how the inputs for these start matching up with the outputs from other ones. So we can eventually make a really nice program where we're like, okay, from this guy, I'm going to connect these programs together. And all I need to do now is go and write this program, and it can be written completely separately, as long as my output is a map. Is that making sense? Or am I going too fast? Guys, you can tell me I'm going too fast.
I'm curious as to how you do this in Pascal.
That's okay. Honestly, that's the point. The point is, don't worry about Pascal yet. This is the key to all of this design stuff. The key to all of this design stuff is you don't worry how you're going to do it yet. You just say, this is what I need to do. Then I'll go do it. Okay? Trust me on this. Because this is a complex program. This is a complex task. And I'm trying to show you, if you break it down into really small components, you'll be able to write a really complex big program, or at least parts of it. Okay? So you can all do this, right? You can all take in a user input, and if it's something to do with movement output, a variable called movement. Right? You could do that. You've done that before? Yes, no? In Pascal?
No.
You can take, like a user presses a button, you store it.
Yeah.
Okay, so this here is something you could do. You could make a map, a 3x3 square, right? With text in it, with descriptions. You could make an array of text. Have you guys done that before?
No, I think.
Sorry?
We've made arrays, but I think we've had text in them yet.
Okay, so that's something we can work on. Okay, but it's not a big step to make an array with text in it. Okay, so a string array. So those two are already done. Then, given a movement and a map, you could output the description of where you've moved. Okay, and you could take so given an input that's just a map, which is just an array with a string, right? So let's say letters T, S, Q, W, for example, whatever. Okay? That's your input. And you've got your movement, which is move left, or move right, sorry. You knew your player was in S. Then you could do something like, okay, I am at this part of the array. I move right. I just increment by 1. Now what is my output? My output is T. Do you see how that's sort of starting to become a little more simple. You can start to see how those steps might start to blend together. Yeah?
Yeah.
No? Okay, but if I just said, go do this text thing, you wouldn't have a clue how to do it in Pascal. Right? But you can see how each step now may be able to be done in Pascal. Kind of. It's okay. But what we're doing is we're looking at it from a higher level. Okay? Little tasks broken down into a system. So that's what we're going to say. So what I need you to do is brainstorm every single task that needs to be done. Okay? Don't try and connect them together. Just say what those tasks are. Okay? And keep it simple. Keep it simple. What are all the tasks you need to do? Okay?
might try and have a look thing, so each room is pulled up so that you don't look at it. I think that could just be like a matter of baseline if it is a certain thing that is a right line. Yeah. I'm just gonna have I've not written
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
user inputs.
Got a description.
I see.
going good. So I think those are all the modules in the game. I've broken some down a little bit too much, I think.
User position, new map or updated map, okay. User position
And that's connected to the arrow keys.
yeah, okay. So user, is this one thing, user position?
Yep.
Okay, so you'll probably have the position and the movement, right? Arrow keys, map and arrow. User position, okay. Okay, user tag, user can input look. I love that one, that's really good. Okay.
And then from the description, you can take whatever in the room.
Okay. Yep. Take key, take battery, open door. Okay. Now there's a few things here that are probably going to make it a bit difficult. Okay. So what I'd like you to do is simplify it right down to just being a map that you move around. Okay. Forget the key, forget the open stuff, all that sort of thing. Let's. Oh, you've already got arrows and stuff. Okay, cool. So what I want you to do now is spend a bit of time connecting all the modules in the system diagram using the same inputs and outputs. Okay. So you've got the user. So start it over here. You've got the user. And they put in their things. So you're going to have a module that is read user. Okay. And then decide what it is. What is it? Okay. And if it's arrows, look, description.
Yep.
Okay, guys, it seems.
better choose that. Like the official classes.
I didn't think you were late. Oh, okay. Okay, guys. There's some of you are doing some really good stuff. Well, all of you are actually. But I want to bring into line what we're doing and just bring down a few guys who are doing stuff a little bit too complex. Okay. So what we're doing is you're making a map 3 by 3 with descriptions in it, and you're moving your player around. Now, if you want to make it more complex and have keys and doors and stuff, that's fine. But be aware that it's going to be a bit more difficult. Okay. Now, where we're going with this, okay? Sorry, where's my sheet? Can I borrow someone's sheet? Okay. Oh, that's right. So where we're going with this, okay, is you guys have outlined how your program's going to work in one big program. Okay, and you've got your inputs and you've got your outputs for the user. And now we're going to turn that into something a bit easier, or into small modules. Okay. So, what we need to do is start thinking about, and you guys have all written a really good list of things that you need to do, all these cool tasks, okay, little tasks that you need to do. So one of them was create a map. Now what do you need in order to create this map? What sort of things do you actually have to have as an input? What defines this map? Coordinates? Yeah. No, that is kind of one thing. So, well, actually, let's think about it. What's the map going to look like on the other side? What's it actually going to look like? What do you guys want in a map? I'm thinking maybe an array with descriptions in it, with strings. Does that make sense? Is that sort of thing? Yeah. Okay. So, in order to create this map, what do I need to know?
Where the user is.
No. Don't care where the user is. I'm just after the map. In order to create this information, how would I code this? Well, not code it, but what information? Yep.
Maybe 3 by 2 array.
Size, yeah, 3 by 3 or size. So in this case, we choose 3 by 3, but we need to know the size. Now, what else do I need to know? What other information is in this?
3 by 3 array is strings.
Strings, yeah. So the descriptions of each room. So in this room, I write a description and say you are on a road. Okay. So descriptions. Now, what about this is that now that you have this idea that if I give you a size and I give you some descriptions, you can go away and write this as an individual. One of you can just go and write this, as long as your output is this. looks like this. Okay? Now the reason being that let's go, okay, so now we've created a map. What else do we need to do in our program? What's one of the other things that we're going to be doing? Everyone's sort of got this sort of stuff. What's another task that we'll be doing?
Looking around the room.
Yeah, looking around the room maybe. How about where the player is? The coordinates of the player. Yeah? Sorry.
I'll just grab this later.
Sorry. The next step, the next one that we do is the user input. Okay? So the user does what? Enters a key, okay? So something, okay? We need to interpret what that user input is. Now, as an example, it might be direction. Okay? Now, if we're given direction and we have a map, what else do we need to do in order to know where the player is? Where is the player? Seeing a lot of blank faces. Sorry, guys. Is this making sense? No? No. It's okay. It's okay. Tell you what. Get into it. I'm gonna come back to this in a second. But what you need to be thinking of, guys, is when you have these little modules, what do you actually need as an input, and what sort of things are going to be coming out? What sort of stuff is going to come out? Okay. So if I need a map to be made of strings, then I need the size, I need the descriptions, I create the map. If, as part of my user input, I need something like direction, then I need to have a program that reads in user input. This guy just reads in user input. So we're going to have the user entering something. The user input's going to come out. Now maybe the user input comes out with a direction. You know, that might be north, south, east, west, whatever you want, or it might be the arrow buttons. Okay, whatever you've defined it to be, or it might be go through door, or something like that. Okay, but it might be an error message. So something that's not correct. Okay, and it might be something else like look, or other instructions that you might actually have. So what are the outputs of your user input? How does that read it in? Okay. Then, yeah, well, let's go with that. You guys. Oh, sorry.
Trying to do this, but I don't really know what other tasks I need to do.
Are you trying to make vlogs too? Yeah, you're being dog.
My name is Lawrence. I'm single.
You can mingle with him. I'm pretty sure he's single too. Yeah, the computer behind. Yeah, that one. One of the behind. Why don't you do basketball then?
Okay, guys, we'll continue this tomorrow.
We don't have you tomorrow, right?
I'll continue it on the next lesson. I'll make it a bit easier for you. We're gonna get this, guys. We are. Tomorrow is athletics.
Tomorrow's Splendor at the base. It's assembly and
Guys, I need to roll quickly before you go. Lawrence, Louis, Jesse.
No, is that work experience?
Lewis.
Hold on, nothing worried about.
Okay. I need the person to call out. Okay. Eli. Thanks. Lucian. Colin. Yeah. Matthew.
Yep.
Connor. Yeah. Oh, Liam. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sydney.
Yep.
And Gian.
Yep.
Sweet. Oh, Nathan. Sorry.
Yeah,
Always look at that. Thanks, guys.
see you, sir.